Current situation, Alaska Adventure Day 8. I am at All West Auto Glass in Vanderhoof on Highway 16, where I'm getting a large rock chip fixed. I just got a rock in the center of the windshield in a construction site a few miles down the road, and God put this place right on the side of the road, and they got me right in. And I want to thank them very much. If you happen to be traveling through Canada on 16 and you get a chip in your windshield, in the construction, these fellers will take care of you. It's an adventure, folks. Remember to put God first. The wind's blowing that way. You better not get any closer. The wind's blowing that way. You'll go right. Right over the edge. This place is so incredible. I do not know what to even take a picture of. I'm on 37A. It's the little chute that goes off of 37 to Hyder, Alaska, which is the southernmost point of Alaska that you can drive into. It's down in the panhandle. You definitely got to take this road if you're coming up here, if you're driving. You cannot see the tops of these mountains because of the clouds, but we saw them yesterday coming in, and they're all snow-capped. And there's these rivers, wild rivers everywhere that are rushing with glacier water. From Hyder, you can see the Pacific Ocean. You can go down to their bay and see the Pacific Ocean. And there are incredible waterfalls everywhere here. They are thousands of feet high. And let's see if I can, like there, and the top of the mountain that's up in the clouds is covered with snow and glaciers. And these waterfalls are just flowing everywhere down off of the mountain. It's just unbelievably, it's like another planet. If you are driving to Alaska, you definitely should check out 37A. It has been the most incredible 40 miles or so of the entire trip so far. I said I can't even describe it, and I can't show it to you even in this video because of the snow on top of, or the clouds on top of the mountains, or they're in the clouds. And they're all snow covered and jagged, and you can see the glaciers running down the mountain over there. I mean, and that's just everywhere, and you can get up really, really close to them in some places. I've got a little bit of a breakdown here. Maybe you can see kinda. Yeah, you can see that snow-capped peak way down in the distance there through the valley. And it's like that all the way out this road. It's just unbelievable, indescribable. I wish you could all see this. This is just a sample of Highway 37. I'm about 100 miles still south of Highway 1, and I'm headed into Skagway, Alaska tonight, I hope. But this is what the whole trip is like, what you see when you're going down the road. This has literally got to be some of the most beautiful scenery in the whole world. There are mountains that look like Christmas tree mountains and crystal clear lakes and glaciers and cliffs just everywhere you look. It's just unreal. This is one of the wildfires from this year, one of the ones that have rerouted our trip, and we have been driving through this for miles and it just continues on. The forest is absolutely devastated by it. Alaska Adventure Day 12 update. This is Skagway, Alaska, which is actually our second stop in Alaska. We stopped in Hyder a couple of days ago. I have had absolutely no cell service. I wanted to do a live stream today, but I could not seem to get it done. We've been on the road pretty much since we left. And we are going to spend a couple days in Skagway. I'm going to try and do a live stream with y'all and update you tomorrow. Alex is still working on the day or week 1 video. We'll have that up for you in a couple of days. I haven't been able to send her stuff, but this is an international port. The cruise ships you can see down there are literally bigger than the town. Thanks for following along with us and for being with us and for praying for us. And until next time, remember to put God first. I'm standing on the docks at Skagway in the port, and the wind is picked up. And I know this video or the audio on this is going to be awful, but this cruise ship that I'm standing by, there's 2 of them docked here, is probably twice as big as the town of Skagway. And this is an international port. If you take an Alaskan cruise, you're going to come to Skagway. And believe it or not, as much as it costs to drive all the way up here, it is cheaper to drive to Skagway than it is to take a cruise ship to Skagway. But, I mean, wow. It's incredible, and it's incredible that these giant ships come to such a small town. And when you come into the port, you come in through these unreal snow-capped mountains, through Glacier Bay. I mean, it's just gorgeous. I'm sure day 13 will be one of the most memorable days of our entire trip. My dad and I rode the train up to White Pass, the summit where all of the gold rush invaders went over. It was an absolutely gorgeous ride. Definitely something that we will both remember forever. This evening the sun has come out. It's about 4 o'clock in the evening, and we just came out of the Skagway City Museum, which is in this stone building over here. It's a very interesting little museum. We went to another one of the national park museums in town. The national park is in several buildings in town. and did a little more gift shop stroll through. I mean, there's gift shops and jewelry stores and bars and restaurants here, and that's kind of what the town is now. We drove around again though, and went down by the harbor again, and there wasn't supposed to be, or somebody told us there wasn't supposed to be, a cruise ship in town today. The 2 that were here yesterday left, and there's 3 in the harbor today. So the streets were so packed. This obviously is not the train that we rode. This is a historic train that they have here at the City Museum. Anyway, the whole trip has just been unbelievable so far. And the rail ride up to White Pass Summit is, like I said, probably going to be one of the highlights of the whole trip. It was just absolutely amazing. And that was the main thing we did today. That was actually the main thing that we did in Skagway. We did eat some fresh fish down on the dock, and that was really good. And we may stop in town and get something this evening too. I'm not sure. Alaska Adventure Update Day number 14. We spent 3 nights and 2 days in Skagway, and we're pulling out this morning. We'll be heading north up through the Canadian Yukon and then entering Alaska again near Tok. Not sure how long we're going to be up. It'll take us 2 or 3 days to get to Denali, depending on what we stop and look at. I really appreciate y'all traveling along with us, praying for us, keeping us updated on road conditions and things like that. Until I get service again, remember to put God first. Between Skagway and Whitehorse, just over the Canadian border. This is so cool. The railroad you can see here is part of the White Pass Railroad, and this is thawing out now, but you can still see the tire marks where it was driven on in the winter. You can see them better down a little bit closer to the border control office, but stopping right at border control is kind of a no-no. They don't like that. Especially if you're shooting video. No shooting video at border control. I actually learned that years ago. And I'm in Fraser, Canada. What a road trip. this is different than anything we've seen so far. It's an ice field that has thawed out. When we were headed over the Canadian border the last time into Alaska, when we were going down into Skagway, we went through a frozen ice field. But there's places here where the glaciers have pushed rock down to the road, and you can see where the glacier thawed out, and there's a big pile of rocks and a lot of black sandy dirt here, and this huge lake. But there's so much sand here. It's, like I said, it's entirely different than anything else we've seen. And I guess the sand is because the glaciers push down the mountains every year, and there's not a whole lot of vegetation on them. It's just rock being ground up. And it's as sandy as an ocean beach all around here, which to me is just wild. And let's see, we are at Big Whitefish Lake. And this was part of the gold rush. Lots of black dirt. I imagine there's probably still gold here. This is the international boundary marker between the U.S. and Canada at the Yukon and Alaska crossing on one in Yukon, and once we cross over into Alaska, it will be 2. And it literally looks like where they mark your property line. It's just stakes and orange markers out through the field there. But they've got all kind of stuff here about the Yukon on this side. And their slogan is larger than life. And then you turn around this way and you have stuff about Alaska. Both countries' flags are over here. I'll walk over here where you can kind of see them. There's Welcome to Alaska, and the American flag and Alaska flag. And then over here is the Canada and Yukon flags, and they're kind of old. Maybe they need to be replaced. They're Canada. Well, the American flag's a little tattered too. It may need to be replaced. But the border sign, erected in 1982. As I'm walking along this path here in Deadman Lake Campground, just inside of Alaska, and I'm kind of wrapping up this week, the 23rd Psalm just kind of keeps running through my head, and I am blessed to be experiencing and living the 23rd Psalm. And it starts out, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Every need we have had has been met. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters, and certainly this lake there is nothing stiller. He restoreth my soul, and this trip is restoring my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake." God bless you all. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for traveling with us. And certainly thank you for praying for us. And until next time, remember to put God first.